Guys, today we talks about the worst games. We just did. Let's talk about the worst movies of the year. Okay, we all know this year has been actually way better for movies than it was for games, which is surprising. Okay, we had much more. We had some actually very successful and very popular movies, from Dune 2 to Godzilla to, of course, the masterpiece that's coming called Sonic 3. But of course, there is one movie that might actually miss the list. We might actually update it when it comes out. Mufasa the Lion King. Of course, that movie will be an honorable mention because we all know that movie is gonna be a pile of shit anyways. But what are the worst movies of 2024? And no, Deadpool Wolverine will not be on the list because that movie actually is. It's okay. It's not a bad movie. It's pretty overrated, but it's not a bad movie. But now let's actually get to the really bad movies of the year. Number one. So there were actually four movies I could put at number one. This movie, Megamind, versus the Doom Syndicate, Borderlands, and there was one more movie, Madame Web. Okay, but I chose Joker 2 because I think this is the biggest betrayal in all of film history. Okay, everybody talks about what's the most biggest disappointment in games or movies. This gotta be Joker 2. Okay, or Joker Friday Foods. We told you multiple times, Warner Bros. No one asked for a Joker musical starring fucking Lady Gaga, and you didn't listen to us. You didn't listen to the fans. Okay? Like, there are so many better ways they could have made a Joker sequel. Number one, made it about the Batman fighting against the Joker. Of course, it's overused because they'll never top the Dark Knight, but imagine this portrayal of the Joker fighting older version of this Joker fighting the Batman. Okay, considering the fact that he sold Bruce Wayne as a kid, and imagine him growing up and he has to face this guy who became the criminal ward. Or how about they could have actually put the actual person who they have been playing as Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, which is Margaret Robbie, who is a much better role because he already played Harley Quinn several motherfucking times. But no. We gotta have Lady Gaga, okay, play Harley Quinn. Who asked for this? Well, I'll tell you it. Nobody asked for this. And the box office results show this movie flopped so hard on release, and this movie is already on digital streaming. Number two. We gotta talk about this movie, Mega Man and Doom Syndicate. You knew this movie was gonna be on this list. If you weren't, you must be, unintelligent. But Mega Man vs. Doom Syndicate, I actually forgot this movie existed until people called me out on the site. Like, you forgot about the Mega Man vs. Doom Syndicate. Like, I forgot this movie? Really? But yeah, this movie's now on the list. Thankfully, this is considered one of the worst sequels of all time. Probably this and Joker 2, like, 2024 produced some of the worst sequels ever made. Like, Hollywood has made some pretty bad sequels, like the sequel to The Mask that nobody liked. Like, did anyone like that movie? The Twilight movies, and maybe, yeah, there's some pretty bad ones, but usually the worst movies are usually not sequels. But Mega Man vs. Doom Syndicate and Joker 2 will be considered some of the worst sequels of all time. Also, make it maybe for the Marvels in there. But Mega Man, it's like literally the movie looks like a 2000s movie. Like, come on, it looks like a low budget movie, and it's just this is not a good movie. This is Mega Man 2 we're talking about. Of course, this movie has to be on the list. It's one of the worst movies ever made, and it's one of the worst movies ever made. And it was just this huge mistake. I don't think Mega Man as a franchise will ever recover from this movie as well. But yeah, number three, Borderlands. Of course, if Mega Man vs. Doom Syndicate didn't exist, this would be number two. But Borderlands is a very, very bad movie. Imagine taking a source material and screwing it so much that it's so bad. Okay? But again, this is how Gearbox and 2K and have treated Borderlands. Okay, Borderlands 3, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands. It's kind of like they just don't understand what made the first two games work so well, and also the pre-sequel, but no one talks about that game. but they just don't understand what made Borderlands 1 and 2 work so well. Like making the movie not animated, casting 50-year-old people as characters in the 20s. It's just, this is a recipe for disaster as well. And it's just, why did they think this was a good idea? Why did they think this was a good idea? Okay, why did they think this was a good idea? That's my question. Number 4, Madame Web. Oh yes, this is, of course we're gonna have to talk about Madame Web. This is easily one of the worst movies ever released. Did anyone like this movie? Well, I'll tell you, nobody did. We all knew this movie was gonna fail, but again, Hollywood doesn't understand why people didn't want to see this movie. So basically, February and January had some of the worst box office numbers of all time. Sorry, but Willy Wonka can't keep the box office alive forever. Okay, you gotta have some new movies released in January and February that people are actually like. What did they release in January? Zack-Sit. What did they release in February? Zack-Sit and Madame Web. Oh, why was the box office at an all-time low? Oh, I wonder why. Because you release movies that nobody likes, like Madame Web. Okay, no one likes Madame Web. Okay, unlike 2022 where they had Puss in Boots and Avatar to keep the money flowing in, and 2024 have Sonic 3 to keep the money flowing in, because I just think that movie is going to be a huge, massive hit. But Madame Web, ugh, why did this movie exist? Like, it exists to just torment us, okay? Like, people really don't like the Spider-Man extended universe that much, like the Venom movies, Morbius, and Madame Web. But Madame Web is the worst of them all, okay? Even Morbius, like, that movie's way more watchable than Madame Web. And even if you look at the scores for this movie is considered worse than Morbius, which, you know, is pretty funny because Morbius was joked on as the worst, like the quintessential bad movie. I watched Morbius. I didn't really hate the movie that much, but again, the jokes were still funny about Morbius. No one was joking about Madame Web. That's how bad this movie was. And yeah, Madame Web should be forgotten in the echoes of history. Number 5, The Crow. I actually, when I first saw pictures for this movie, I thought this was the Joker. I didn't realize this was actually, but this is Hollywood's like millionth attempt at rebooting The Crow. They don't seem to get this to work. Okay, they rebooted The Crow for like the 18th millionth time. It's like, no one asked for this. No one wanted The Crow. Okay, no one wanted this movie. Okay, true love never dies. Oh yeah, you know, people didn't have true love for this movie when it had an opening of $4 million. So I guess true love did die because no one watched The Crow. Okay, and when I heard this movie was just a bastardization of the old 90s movie, which I think is based off a comic book, so already this movie is just a mistake. That's all it really is. And number 6, Lionsgate's Megalopolis. Lionsgate had like 3 movies on this list already. This just really shows you the quality of Lionsgate's movies. But it's just yet another generic, boring blockbuster that is A Waste of Space. Megalopolis is a very boring and bland movie. And guess what? How much money did this movie make on its first week? $3 million. How much budget this cost? $120 million. So really, no one watched this movie. I can't blame them. What would there be a reason to watch this movie? It's so bad. It's so boring. And so uninteresting. But yeah, that's about Megalopolis. This movie will be forgotten in a year. Number 7. This is the first critically acclaimed movie on this list. Well, guess what? Being critically acclaimed doesn't mean all when you abandon the Mad Max fan base, you know, and betray them and backstab them in the back. So, who asked for this movie? Okay, the movie is Mad Max. Why are we making a Mad Max movie about Furiosa? First of all, people don't know this character. Okay, people didn't give a crap about this character in the, you know, if people gave a crap about Furiosa, I think people did care about her in the Mad Max Fury Road, but people really gave a crap about Furiosa. People were sold up to this movie. Well, guess what? This is actually one of the biggest flops and failures of this year. Okay. And yeah, I'm not saying this he was a bad character in the movie, but if people really gave a crap about Furiosa, this movie would have made way more money. It's just they took Mad Max, which could have been a IP that could have been more successful, but instead of making a movie about Mad Max, a sixth Mad Max movie, actually about Mad Max, instead of making a movie about the spin-off character, the side character, okay? It's like making a fucking Mario movie about Luigi and refusing to elaborate. Okay, actually, and it's not about Luigi's Mansion, which is the Luigi focus IP. It's just, it's like making a movie about Luigi and calling it the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but it's about Luigi. It's like you're betraying your fan base, okay? And the problem is, they refuse to distinct this from the Mad Max series. They did not advertise this movie very well. And no surprise, this movie flopped and failed at release. Like, who could have seen this coming? Who could have seen this coming from a mile away? Okay. And yeah, this movie deserves to be on this list. I don't care if it's a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes and 7.5 on IMDb. This movie's a massive box office failure. And also, it wasn't very good as well. I guess, though, Hollywood is still trying somewhat to hang on to wokeness, but it's still not gonna work. Okay, and guess what? They released a few non-woke movies in a row, and they made bank at the box office. So, I guess we won at the very end. And yeah, next movie. I think this is number 7. So, what was the idea for this movie? I just wonder. So, basically, this is based off like some kids' book, and yeah, this is like a kids' movie. And this movie was a movie intended for like little kids, and they had no interest in this movie because I guess they wanted to see movies that were more popular, like Inside Out 2 or Despicable Me 4, which neither movie is on the list because hey, they were very successful movies. Also, Despicable Me 4 is pretty funny. And I don't want to get hate for putting Inside Out 2 on the list because it is the highest grossing movie on the list. Same thing I'm going to disclaim about Deadpool movie. I was disappointed in the movie, but I'm not going to put it on the list because I still respect, the movie. But Harold and the Purple Crayon, like, what the fuck is this? This is like babies crap, okay? Like, this is stuff made for little babies. Like, the storyline is just so dumb that literally only Todd, literally, it's a movie dumbed down for kids, okay? I get it, it's based off a kid's book, but come on, okay? Come on, Zachary Levi. You were Shazam, okay? Shazam was a cool character, a very underrated movie series, and you made this, yeah. Hey, at least you endorsed Trump, so that's a good thing. So, you went against the grain of Hollywood and Hollywood, that's a good thing. So we won't knock this movie a lot more points, but it's still not a good movie. August of 2024 was pretty bad for movies. Not gonna lie. Number 8, Winnie the Pooh Blood Honey 2. Of course, this movie is gonna be on the list. I know this is a joke movie. Okay, I know this movie's intended to be bad, but this is just hilarious that they made a sequel to this movie. But yeah, this movie, people didn't really like it too much. I think the reason why the first movie made so much money, it was just the shock factor of them making a Winnie the Pooh horror movie. This is a movie where it's so bad it's funny. Okay, this is what usually bad movies are. But hey, at least they're not Madame Web, so But yeah, Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey is just another low budget movie that is bad, but it's meant to be bad. That's the whole point of it. Okay. It's meant to be a bad movie. So it's kind of like an honor this movie's on this list, honestly. Because if you failed at being a bad movie, then you failed at being a bad movie. Hey, at least it's not Mega Man versus the Doom Syndicate. But yeah, next movie. Of course, we're going to talk about the Sandy Cheeks movie. So this movie was pretty bad. So I watched someone who reviewed a movie, and yeah, it was a pretty bad movie. First of all, I'm not already the biggest fan of SpongeBob, so already I don't really care. I'm not gonna be like, oh my god, this is a really good movie because I'm nostalgic for SpongeBob. I'm not gonna pull that crap on you. Okay, this movie is a bad movie. The plot line is just kind of like a Harold and the Purple Crayon. It's dumbed down for kids. It's dumbed down, for the lowest common denominator. It's not a very good movie or a very good experience, I'm saying. They dumbed this movie down for the lowest common denominator, and it's just not a good movie. And I don't think anyone liked this movie. Like, is anyone going to defend the Sandy Six movie? And yeah, August of 2024 was a pretty bad month for movies. A lot of these fucking movies on the list came out in the fucking August. Borderlands, Harold and Purple Crayon, The Crow, the Sandy Six movie, like literally almost half the movies on this list released in August of 2024. I guess that month must have been cursed because unless you're the Alien movie, and that movie did pretty well, August of 2024 was a pretty bad month for movies, all things considered. So yeah, the 76 movie is one of the worst movies of the year. Okay, one of the worst movies of the year. Okay, and yeah, if Mufasa the Lion King released earlier, that movie would have been on the list. But we have a number 10. We have to have the last movie of the year. Oh, I found one. So yeah, I actually forgot this movie existed. So the number 10 is the American Society of Magical Negroes. Yeah, that's the actual title of the movie. Like, they really thought that this movie would fly. Like, they really thought this movie, like, I think everyone forgot about this movie, but basically this is a Harry Potter knockoff. Again, not really a big fan of Harry Potter, but again, might have a few boos from people who watch my videos of Harry Potter fans. But basically, this is a Harry Potter knockoff. But what if it's all black people? Yes, that's the whole question of this movie. And why do we need this? Who asked for this? Basically, and also this movie's about a secret society. Like, again, secret societies are already messed up as they are, but this movie is just a Harry Potter ripoff already. This movie is also very predictable and very, bland. And this movie did very, very poorly in the theaters. Like, it only made like $1 million or so in the theaters. It is basically the biggest bomb of the year. It finished with $2.4 million at the box office of a budget of $15 million. So they couldn't even get butts in the seats for this. And yeah, I actually forgot this movie existed. But again, why did they make this? Who knows? Or Hollywood at this point. They make some of the strangest movies. Okay. And yeah. This is the actual title of the movie. Yeah, at least they didn't use the actual N word. They used the, less, they used the, like, the word is still offensive, but hey, at least it literally is, even though the word Negro is really the word black and Spanish, yeah, that's really what the word means. So, hey, this movie exists. Of course, it's gonna be on the worst movies of the year. And yeah, there were some honorable mentions like Argyle. That was a contender for this list. The Mufasa the Lion King, because it didn't release yet. Because it's not out yet. We can't dunk on it, the whole time. And we can't forget about the movie about the second Civil War. Like, you really want those people who keep talking about the second Civil War, and he make a fucking movie about it. Like, why? Okay, like, they always talk about we need to reduce tension in this country. Let's make a movie about the second Civil War while we're at it. Okay, it's kind of like that movie they're trying to make about World War III. Like, you really want to make a movie about World War III? Like, yes, I get it if you want to have, like, many movies have done actually World War III in the past, like Terminator, with, for example, the fourth Terminator movie, which was about fighting the Terminators, but that was fighting, but that World War III was against the machines, okay, or fighting against like aliens and stuff. But you never had like an actual like World War III movie, okay, against like China and America or Russia and America, okay. You had many movies preventing World War III, but yep, that is about the worst movies of the year, okay. Yeah, this year's slate of movies were pretty bad. And yeah, I'm not gonna include like yeah, I tried to exclude any popular, like, maybe I make like a most disappointing movie of the year because there were several movies this year that disappointed me, like Deadpool and Wolverine. But Deadpool and Wolverine is still not a bad movie. I just didn't like some of the woke stuff in the movie. Doesn't make the movie a bad movie, but and also I was kind of disappointed like they brought back a lot of these old characters only to just kill them off for some strange reason instead of making them fun at the very end of the movie as well. But yeah, I already have a few problems with Deadpool movie. But again, I'm not really a big fan of the newer Marvel movies, anyways. So yeah, I didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania either. So the last Marvel movie I liked was Guardians of the Galaxy 3, and I think Shang-Chi, but those ones are already so long ago as well. But yeah, already this list of movies, I think it's a very acceptable list. So yeah, that's about the worst movies of the year. And goodbye.